I'm Megan or Maggie Mouse, and I share how to live a magical lifestyle wherever you are. Today you're in my kitchen because I wanted to do a Maggie Mouse made project that I've been thinking about for a while for Disneyland's 70th anniversary. The 70th was officially back on July 17th, 2025. So I'm a little bit late, but I was doing a little bit of traveling for work, and now I have time to do this project that I've been thinking about. So I hope you enjoy kind of the process behind the end result. Usually I share my end results to my Instagram for these types of projects, which I call Maggie Mouse Made, which are just a series of anytime I make videos or post on like crafts, baking, cooking, or anything that I do in that creative sense that is usually Disney related. But I thought it would be fun to kind of do a YouTube video version, kind of longer form, and especially for Disneyland's 70th, I wanted it to be special since I am going to be going to Disneyland later this year. So let's see how it goes. What I want to bake today is a cake, basically. For the Disneyland 70th, all the characters have like special outfits, and I was particularly inspired by Minnie Mouse's 70th celebration dress. It's kind of like this tiered dress. I'll try to put a picture in here. Tiered dress in like different colors. So I thought it would be fun to do a cake decorated kind of in those like color it's not exactly a gradient, but in that like color gradient that is on her dress. So we'll see how it goes. I am gonna make the dress, I am gonna make the cake gluten-free. So I'm using Bob's Red Mill baking flour, which is their 1-to-1 gluten-free mix. And then I'm just using a recipe I found online. This is from the website Meaningful Eats. So it's just like a simple like white cake mix. Yeah, so I'm starting there, and then the real fun part will be the decoration. So let me just do the cake. For the filling, I'm gonna go with this lemon curd in between the layers. It's just the Trader Joe's like store-bought version, but it is so good. So I think it'll be really good on this cake, since the cake is just like vanilla cake, and I'm just gonna do buttercream icing. So this will add a little flavor to it. And now I'm just making the buttercream icing or frosting. I don't know, I use those words interchangeably. What do you call it? So I'm just gonna go in with a layer of just the buttercream as is before I add any colors. And then I'll add the color decorations on top of this. This is kind of like a crumb coat, I guess, but it's, I think, thicker than a crumb coat should be, but I think it'll work for what I'm doing. So my plan, like I said, is to do like the ruffle layers, and I found this gel food colors, so they'll be a little more vibrant. And these are pretty much the colors I need, except I might use yellow instead of the orange, but I already had the yellow. But what I was just thinking is, I don't know what I'm going to do on the top surface. So I have the idea that I might, before I do the ruffles, put this blue sparkles on the top. But I'm just scared that I'll regret it. I'm going to try it. Okay. All right. Also listening to the Rangers. So you can hear baseball in the background. I should have done this when I first did this icing. right, so I got all my colors ready and hopefully I don't mess this up. And if you do cakes, you probably already know this, but a good tip is if you're going to use the same frosting tip for each color, put it in a separate bag and then just load up your bags, and then you can just slide them in, and then when you're ready to use the next color, you just take it out and you can use that tip without having to like change out the bags a lot. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's really helpful to me. Okay, I don't love how that turned out with this tip, so I'm gonna try a different one. I have the larger version of that same shape, so I'm gonna try that.
Last year, 428. It's 556 this year coming into tonight. So that's basically a 130 point jump. That's pretty significant. Jumper down to first. The last step on that one for a second.
Hi, editing Megan here. It was at this point that I decided to completely scrap what I had done so far with the yellow because I hated how this turned out even more. Gonna be honest, I was also considering just like stopping the project because I was getting pretty tired and just, you know, frustrated. And I would have just never posted this video and never talked about the cake and no one would have ever known. But again, I had been wanting to do this cake for a while. It had been in my mind, in that like I was inspired to do it. So I decided to kind of just revisit it with another technique, which you'll see as the video goes on. But I was just thinking about that I'm actually really proud of myself for that, because I have a little bit of that how hard can it be type DIY gene, where anytime I see like something online, I'm like, oh, I could do that. And then I try it one time and I'm not great at it immediately. So I just like give up. So I'm proud of myself for kind of sticking to this. And I had the momentum from recording the video also because I wanted to be able to finish the project. So yeah, hopefully that, I don't know, inspires you in some way. Maybe there's a project you've been putting off or a project you've started and you didn't like how it was going. It's never too late to revisit those projects. So speaking of revisiting the projects, let's get back to the video and see how the cake turns out. Okay, we are trying this again. A little bit of a different technique. I do still have to figure out how I want to meet these, the top and the sides together. I do still have some left over of most of the colors, so I gotta do something around this border. So I decided to use the remaining pink and purple frosting to kind of do this like two-tone dollops just all around that border to meet the sides to the top. I do really like how it turned out just because I think the pink and purple look really satisfying right next to each other. And as I was doing it, I realized it reminds me of the light bulbs that are on the Coca-Cola refreshment corner on Main Street on Disneyland. And there's that one light bulb. So the light bulbs are alternating white and red. And then there's one light bulb in the corner that where those two colors meet. They painted half the light bulb red so that they're still alternating correctly even though there was like an odd number of light bulbs. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you're a Disneyland person, you know what I'm talking about anyways. So I thought that was kind of a fun way that this turned out being like Disneyland connected. And for a final piece of decoration and just to add a little more Disneyland 70th magic to it, I decided to do these cake toppers made out of like white chocolate candy melts, and then I just added in a bunch of sprinkles in the colors that I liked. Hi, Editing Megan here again. I just wanted to close out this video by showing you how the cake came together once I added the cake toppers. This was actually really stressful to put those in, try to decide like the right place to put them, but I just kind of put them staggered but like centered in the cake. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and this kind of behind the scenes look on a Minnie Mouse made project. If you would please give this video a thumbs up, I'd be so appreciative, and I'd be appreciative if you should decide to subscribe, and I'll see you real soon in the next video.